The Little Prince. The Little Prince. The Little Prince. Chapter 1. Once when I was 6 years old, I saw a magnificent picture in a book called True Stories from Nature about the primeval forest. It was a picture of a boa constrictor in the act of swallowing an animal. Here is a copy of the drawing. In the book it said, boa constrictors swallow their prey whole without chewing it. After that, they are not able to move, and they sleep through the 6 months that they need for digestion. I pondered deeply then over the adventures of the jungle, and after some work with a colored pencil, I succeeded in making my first drawing. My drawing number 1. It was like this. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them. But they answered, "Frightened? Why should anyone be frightened by a hat?" My drawing was not a hat. It was boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I drew the inside of the boa constrictor so that they could see it clearly. Grown-ups always need to have things explained. My drawing number 2 looked like this. The grown-ups' response design was to advise me to lay aside my drawing of boa constrictor weathers from the inside or the outside, and devote myself instead to geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. That is why at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a printer. I had been disheartened by the failure of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is tiresome for for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. So then I choose another profession and learned to pilot airplanes. I have found a little over all parts of the world, and it is true that geography has been very careful to me. At a glance, I can distinguish China from Arizona. If one gets lost, in the night, such knowledge is valuable. In the course of this life, I have had a great many encounters with a great many peoples who have been concerned with matters. A consequence, I have lived a great deal among grown-ups. I have seen them intimately close at hand. And that hasn't improved my opinion of them. Whenever I met one of them who seemed to me at all clear sighted, I tried the experiment of showing him my drawing number 1, which I had kept. I wanted to find out if this was a person of true understanding. But whoever it was, he or she would always say, "That is a hat." Then I would never talk to that person about boa constrictor or primavera forest. Primavera forest or stars. I would bring myself down to his level. I would talk to him about bridge and golf and politics and neckties and the grown up would be greatly pleased to have met such a sensible man. Chapter 2. So I lived my life alone, without anyone that I could really talk to, until I had an accident with my plane. My plane in the desert of Sahara. 6 years old. 6 years old. Something was broken in my engine. And as I had with me neither a mechanic nor any passenger, I said to myself to attempt the difficult repair. Repairs all along. It was a question of life or death for me. I had scarcely enough drinking water to last a week. The first night, then, I went to sleep on the sand, 1,000 miles of any human habitation. I was more isolated than a shipwrecked sail or on a left in the middle of the ocean. Thus you can imagine my amazement. A sunrise when I was awakened by an odd little voice. It said, "If you please draw me a ship." What? Draw me a ship? I jumped on my feet, completely thunderstruck. I blinked my eyes hard. I looked carefully and saw a most extraordinary small person. Who was examined me gravely.